My name is Jay Forrest. I'm the Assistant Dean for Content Strategy and Development, and I essentially manage our collection budget. The library annually spends around $13 million per year, and that's what gets journal subscriptions, databases, books, and other resources to help you with your research, teaching, and learning. Transformative agreements, or read and publish agreements, do things like incorporate not only the traditional subscription cost, what it costs for us to give you access to the articles, but it also covers author publishing charges and book publishing charges, APCs and BPCs, that our faculty pay to publish open access in some of these journals. What open access means is that research is available freely to anyone in the world. And it's important to us to make sure that Georgia Tech research is not behind a paywall, so that what we do is available to anyone. Now, the library is relatively new in this. We only have a handful of agreements. We started last year with ACM, with Cambridge University Press, and with MIT Press for books. This year, we expanded to Institute of Physics, Cold Spring Harbor Labs, and Company of Biologists. And these agreements are basically where we can make sure that our overall cost meet a performance metric that the library uses for all of our journal subscriptions, but also where there's going to be an advantage for campus. So we're doing a lot of great things at Georgia Tech, and we publish them in a variety of ways. And so we're communicating with the scholarly community. For folks that can pay for those subscriptions, that research is available. But if we look at smaller institutions, even within the state of Georgia, or institutions around the world, not everyone can subscribe to some high caliber journals.
So my name is Dalton Lin. I'm an assistant professor at Sinnam School of International Affairs. My teaching and research focus on East Asia international politics, and specifically I use China's rise as empirical cases to examine my theories. I published a special section on the China Quarterly, the journal, the China Quarterly. And there is, before you sign the author's contract with them, they have this section ask you whether you want to publish with open access, and I take no. And they reply to me, say, actually, Georgia Tech has this agreement with Cambridge University Press, so actually they encourage you to offer open access. And that's the first time I heard about that, and I was happily surprised. I think from any author's perspective, you want to get your work read by as many people as possible, because that's the way you make impact. And the impact of that is my co-author brought to my attention that our special section, there are 6 articles in the special section. 5 of them were ranked top read among the top 10. And so the only one that was not among the top read is the one without open access.
My name is Lilia Glass, and I'm an assistant professor of linguistics in the School of Modern Languages at Georgia Tech. So I have published 2 articles in the Cambridge University Press journal, English Language and Linguistics. These 2 articles kind of went together as a pair. And the first one I actually published before this agreement, and I actually had to use my own research budget to pay the open access fee. The open access fee, if I recall correctly, was around 2,000 British pounds. That was a very significant expense, but I paid that money out of my own research budget on purpose because I want people to be able to read the article, both because it actually helps me for people to be able to read my research. You know, the more people can read my research, the more impact my research is going to have, the more other scholars will be able to read it and cite it and assign it to their students and be inspired by it and have it affect them. So that's one reason for it to be open access. It's probably going to get more citations if the more people can read it. The other reason I want it to be open access is because I'm a government employee. I work for Georgia Tech, for the state of Georgia. So on some level, I work for taxpayers. And so I think that everyone, taxpayers and also just people all over the world, should be able to access research. Then the second article actually came out after this agreement was signed. And then it was actually amazing because all I had to do was somehow invoke the agreement. And then the article was published open access access at no extra cost to me, which was super empowering. And it actually makes me want to publish more with Cambridge University Press journals, because we now have another paper under review at Language Variation and Change, which is also a Cambridge University Press journal. And we chose that journal for many reasons, but one of them was that we could publish the article open access using these agreements. So it's really kind of even changed what journals we want to submit to, and really been empowering, especially for researchers with small research budgets, that we don't have to spend our research budget on that fee.